Welcome back to the garden. It is like 10,000 degrees hot out here today. I just came out here real quick just to do some compost. I got free compost today, y'all. I may post a video. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on my Facebook, but maybe, yeah. Just a little snippet of today's events. I actually got invited to do a garden presentation on the importance of why you should have a garden in this wonderful world that we live in. It was a pleasure, a treat, and so amazing for seniors in my community that I live in. It was such a blessing. Like, it was real good. So what I'm doing now, y'all know I don't come out here in the heat. I don't really do the heat too often. I like to get out here early in the morning, or I come in the evening. In the afternoon is very rare that you see me out here, but I have some leftover compost, and I'll tell you why I have leftover compost from our meeting today. It was so wonderful, y'all. Like, if you have not built a garden community, y'all, build a garden community. It's such a blessing to be with like-minded people who want to just feed their family and who appreciate community and sharing and just caring about each other. So anyway, I said all that to say this. Let me move some things out of the way. I want to also give you guys a quick update on those wonderful things that are growing in my new grow bed. And if you are new to my channel, my name is Tisha. And if you're not new, you know, you already know what time it is out here in the garden. But for my newbies, welcome. It's been a great day. I actually took the day off because I knew that, you know, the event was going to be earlier, and who wants to go back to work after? You know, so I just took the day. But let me show you real quick before I deal with this compost, and then I'll fill you in on the type of compost I have. You all know me. I try to do everything as organic as possible. For some reason, it is extremely windy out here, but it's hot, y'all. It has to be at least 90. I'm kidding, not kidding. It has to be at least 90 out here. If it's not, it's close. It's steamy. So where I'm going to dip down is to a shaded part of my garden, which is close by my fence. And there is like all types of spiders down here I've never seen before, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I can show you a couple. There's one there. There's some more here. Just different types of spiders. And I'm leaving them alone because any pests that I have out here that they like, they're going to take care of them for me. So definitely not worried about them. Okay? They can hang out, stay, and make a family if they want to. So what I wanted to show you, if you remember the installation of this grow bed, and if you haven't seen it, I have just a short video on how to start a grow bed, but this is it. So real quick before I get to it, the sweet potato slip that I rescued when we harvested our sweet potatoes. Look at it, y'all. It's doing very well. Eventually I'm going to take this out of here. Here's that potato from our, look at this, it's something been nibbling, y'all. Nibble. Probably some little worms, that's what it looked like. But that's the potato that came from our compost. So when it was in the ground. Look at the cucumber, y'all. Y'all know I did this from seed, right? This was not a bought plant. This is from seed, okay? It is getting ready to start climbing, and we can get us some cucumbers there. Our sweet pea is windy, so the wind has blown them over, but they are also ready to climb. I may have to, oh, let me get that leaf off of there. I may have to, you know why that's there. That's some leaf miners. And you know, it's hard to get rid of them because the flies, they fly up here every day and they lay their little babies. But look at the sweet peas, y'all. I'm trying to get them up here. So once they get up here, then they'll start to climb and I can put my clips on them. They're just not long enough yet. Okay. But the cucumber is literally showing out. There is a leftover scallion that's hiding here that I had, and I just threw it over here. And it's already, I did this like a couple days ago. That's there. Look at the broccoli rabe showing out. The broccoli itself is doing okay. I think we need to just put some more soil around it to support, but it's doing okay. The broccoli rabe is showing out. Literally showing out, y'all. You know, we come through here and look at this little pest, but it's not as bad. I did spray over here last night with some little castile soap and peppermint oil, and that seemed to help out a little bit. And look at the radish. Did I tell y'all I grew this? Look at that. See that little fly right there? That is what you don't want on your plants, because that is what causes the leaf miner that you see. Okay? That's what that is. And this is our lovely Swiss chard back here. Okay? Look at the pepper. Now, what I sprayed for, what caused me to come out here, was these aphids, y'all. They set up shop here. So I sprayed for them last night, and then I'm going to go ahead and wash them off here in a minute, just to get their little carcasses off my plant. And the Thai basil is still holding on. Remember, I thought it was going to die back? It just needed to get rooted again, so it's okay. But we're going to come back out here and tend to these aphids. I hit them with a little bit last night because it didn't look like many. They may be dead because they're not moving. But I did spray them last night. I sprayed them really good. Okay, so that's how the grow bed is doing. So much growth in here, and y'all know all of this was seed. Okay, the only store-bought thing I've purchased since I've started my garden was that thyme, and that's because thyme gives me a hard time. And two, the sweet basil, because the Thai basil. Sorry, y'all, I had to take a quick break. My daughter came out to ask me a question. But anyway, do y'all see the cucumber and everything? I'm just going to give you a quick aerial view before I go over here and deal with this compost. Honey, look at this. Them flies busy, y'all. Let me tell you. They always out here. Little leaf miners. But look at this. Get used to that fly. You see him? Yeah, that's the one. That's the leaf miner. That's where it starts. Laying their little babies to feed them, and then they eat up your little plants. You gotta keep them out your garden. As much as possible. I mean, they're outside. Unless you're putting everything indoors, they still find a way. As soon as you open your door, something flying in. But anyway, quick check here on our avocado. It's still young, but this avocado plant came from our compost. It was a gift from the compost, y'all. And I haven't really shown it in a while, just giving it its space to grow and things like that. But if you've seen it from the beginning, you'll say, wow, when you look at it now. But if it's your first time seeing it, this came from my compost. It was a volunteer avocado tree. This thing has survived every storm that we've had. Got little nibbles and things like that, but I mean, it's outside, y'all. But yeah, it's getting very big, which will be a nice, once it gets to be mature, it'll be a nice shaded area over here where you can plant some more stuff, right? All right. Okay, so the callaloo. The seeds are what was left by my little bunny. They are still growing. I'm actually pretty shocked because the ones that were there that we transplanted, right? The smaller ones look like they were dying, but I see new leaves on them. They look like they're almost dead. But for the ones that made it, there's one. Remember, that was number 2, which the little brown down there. There's number 3, and that's 4. But if you look at number 4, I think I see some new leaves there, right? I can't be imagining that, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not pulling it up yet. But if you can see how tall the mama plant has gotten, yeah, real big. Okay. What else can I show you really quick over here before we get to that compost? Let's see. The corn, y'all. Okay, so, you know, our little friend, you know, we ain't talk about her no more. she was over here nibbling. So what I did is I covered these up, and just to protect them from getting eaten, but also to protect from the heat, because they were so small. Between that and the beans growing in there, the heat was really, really putting pressure on them. So I had to give them a little break from that. They're big enough now that they should be able to withstand our Florida heat. Okay, corn loves the sun. And look at it now, y'all. Isn't that amazing? Look at the beans. Okay, these are my bean plants. These are red beans. Okay, some of them did not take. You see that one right there? But I'm going to leave it alone. It may sprout later. We got some back here that's still trying to do something. Let me pull out this leaf from my Leaf of Life plant, because as we discussed in our event today, this Leaf of Life plant has seeds all around the edges. And as soon as you put this somewhere, you're going to have a plant. So I try to just give it back to the plant. That's why it's probably so big now. But if you haven't seen my Leaf of Life plant in a while, let me just let you look at it. It's huge. It's almost taller than me now. There's a couple little leaves I need to get off of here. I could probably do that while I'm standing here. Yeah, the sun has really beat them up so bad. And mind you, this was a plant that did not get covered when we had the hard freeze. I would give this to my compost. Problem is, the seeds are still there. And guess what's going to happen? This will overtake my compost. So we're going to just toss those. They're spoiled out. I wouldn't even give those to anyone to start one in their garden. They're to the point where they're not going to be as nutrient dense because they're, like this. I wouldn't give that to anyone. Because honestly, if somebody wanted to start a plant with these, they could, but not with them being weak like this. This couldn't do anything for anybody, And those are the things you want to get rid of out of your garden anyway. All right. I put up some cloth here to help with the sun today, because the sun has been so brutal out here. I don't know if it's going to stay tonight, but I had to help my little cantaloupe back here. I'm going to let you peek at it. But the sun has been crazy. Look at it. Poor little thing. It just dwindled right on down. But usually a little bit of shade, little TLC, and they come right back. It's just that it's hot. I did the same thing for my tomato plants today. Same thing. I'm just trying to keep them cool as possible because it is so hot. Let me do this real quick too. We got more tomatoes, y'all, coming. We'll deal with that another time. My free compost I got today, y'all. Okay, so during our event, part of our event was also celebrating Earth Day. And with that being said, all of our plates, forks, spoons are something that you can compost. You can actually put those things in your compost. I've used those before when I've done events and gatherings at my house. And it's pretty common to do that these days. And it was nice to see that. Let me get this lid off here. Oh, y'all. Whew. The compost. It smelled terrible. Look here, y'all. Yeah, real live compost. It's breaking down, which is excellent. What I was saying in my video, I sped it up because it took me a while to churn it. When I take this lid off, there's lots of moisture, which is good to see. Okay. I love this. This is excellent. The heat actually helps break this down a little faster. So the sooner it breaks down, the sooner you get your fertilizer for your garden. Okay. So now let's talk about this compost, this free compost I got today. All right. So everything that we had in our event today was put into this bag for me. So we have compostable plates, cups, everything. So we're going to drop that right on in here. Look at that, y'all. Everything can be composted. right? Everything. Now, the rest of this is just my normal kitchen scraps. So I'm going to drop that in there too. Composting is not hard, y'all. It really isn't. I think we just think about things too much. And we get in our own heads when it comes to stuff like that. But compost is definitely not hard. It's just you, instead of throwing all your trash in the trash, you're just throwing it right on in here. So look at this, y'all. Did I just get a freebie? Oh no, that's something else. I was gonna say, did I get a freebie? If I had gotten a free garlic plant, that would have been great. All right, so that is what happened. It was so great. Like, everything that we did today was built on family, community, sharing, getting started, what to do for pests. It was a great experience, and that is something I would love to do over and over and over. We have to share with each other because not everybody has time to garden. You can lazy garden. The methods that I use is really for somebody who has time to sit and pick their plant, babysit them, as I say. I have lazy gardener methods that, if I get out there today, I get out there. If I don't, I have little bits of things that everybody can do. In your leisure, you can come out here every day. I come out every day, but I don't sit and hover over my plants. I just check for pests mostly that when I'm out here, and I just make sure that everybody's hydrated. That's really it. I don't hover over them because you will drive yourself crazy when you come out and see your plants have been wilted by the heat and it's hot and there's nothing you can do about it. Sorry, y'all, I had to get the front door. But anyway, all right, so let's get rid of this compost, okay? So typically what I do is, you guys have seen me do this 1,000 times. I started my compost in the ground. For those of you that are new to my channel, I started in ground first, okay? I literally I'll show you where my space is now. It's kind of covered. I started here. I just started digging a hole and throwing all my table scraps and everything in here. I do not put any meat product or anything like that in my compost. Well, we're not big meat eaters in this house. I've heard of people doing fish fertilizer. Now, if my family has fish, I still eat snapper and all kinds of things. There's still a lot of seafood I don't eat. I just don't touch. But if my husband's cleaning snapper or anything like that, I will take the fish guts inside the scales and all that stuff and put that in my compost. That I will do. But if they're having other things, that will not make it over here. So it has to be something vegetable or either maybe seafood based, that I'll put that in there, because they do have fish fertilizer. Okay, you can buy that. But if you don't want to go through the hassle, if you still eat a lot of seafood, put all that scale and shrimp skins and all that, put that in your compost. Put it in there. Okay, so now typically what I'll do is I just crush things, break it down, and I cover it back up. This time, because it's starting to get full, I'm literally going to just crush some of it down and just cover it. I'm not bothering with any sand today because I have all of this good stuff that I just got today. So it's going to help me. It's just going to cover that. That's going to be my cover all for today. Okay. So once we crush that up, then that's how that's going to go. Okay. And what I mean by crush that up, you're just going to break it down some. Now, I am the queen of volunteer plants, y'all. If you are new to my channel, you will know I always get something good out of my compost. It literally always volunteer. I guarantee you. So I wouldn't be surprised if I get some good vegetables out of here. I have pepper tops. I have strawberry seed tops and all kinds of things to make sure nothing fell out. Okay, I don't want to draw any unnecessary critters in my yard. And these plates are right on time because instead of me covering all of this with sand, I don't have to do that because the plates are going to cover it. And then I can just take my lid and put this right back on top. And make sure it's secure because it's going to stink. It already does. Make sure that's all pressed down. And that's the compost, y'all. I got free compost today. And I didn't have to dig any more sand out of my yard to cover it. So one thing that I am going to do, I'm going to turn on my sprinklers and let my plants get some water tonight. But check with my husband first because he has some things he's doing in the front yard with fertilizer. So if he's okay with it, we're going to turn on our sprinklers tonight. And then what I'm going to do is sometime between now, it's Thursday, sometime between now and this weekend, I'm going to come back out here and take you through a detailed tour of how I weed, okay? How I weed through all of these lovely little plants and the fertilizer that I put down in between to feed them, okay? So I think that'll be good. But for now, happy Thursday evening. This has been a great day, a fulfilled day. And if any of my ladies from our event have joined my channel, y'all welcome. It was a pleasure meeting you all. It was a privilege. And always leave me comments. I think I left my information. Yeah, I did. On the Facebook page for the seniors ministry. So feel free to message me anytime, y'all. Okay? And for my regular day-to-day family, I'll see y'all again in the garden. Today was great. I'm just overjoyed and just excited. This year is always, you know, we've had some rocky starts to the year, but it's, you know, going forward in a positive manner, and I'm really, really thankful for that. So, all right, y'all. I may put a couple little snippets in here from today's event. I'll see how to carefully edit because, you know, I just want to make sure that I give you a good cover of what we actually talked about today. And just sharing, okay? It was great. I can't say that enough. It was so great. So great. All right, y'all. Well, family, I will catch up with y'all later. Let me go cook dinner because we getting ready to have the sunset, and wow, hungry people gonna be coming home. I don't need my family hungry, y'all. All right, y'all. Catch y'all in the garden on the next video. Bye. It's setup time. But anyway, let's get back into the garden. So that delicious food that you just ate, those beans did not come from my garden. Those onions did come from my garden. But this is what you can do. So when you have your onion heart, cut the onions up, your pepper hearts, cut the peppers up. Find your favorite seasoning. I just took a little jar, you know. But my favorite seasoning to cook with is complete seasoning. I use onion powder and black pepper or cayenne pepper. Use lots of thyme and honey. That's typically what you're going to find right here. So, speaking of onion, all the leftovers that we just got rid of, they're all here. This is compost. Put this in your garden. This is free fertilizer for you. Your eggshells, the skins, and some people even dry their skins if you're pretty savvy. I haven't gotten to the stage yet. But they take the skins and dry them and they make their own onion powder. So think about that. Yes. The eggshells, if you have eggshells, you can also, I've heard 2 people bake them and they use them for themselves for calcium. You can take them, bake them, or dry them, smash them, and use that as calcium for your garden. Your peppers that you just ate in those beautiful beans, these are all seeds in here. Do not get rid of these. You can take them, if you're not ready to plant, take the seeds out and dry them. and put them in when you're ready to plant. Or you can take this whole piece, drop it down some nice good soil, give it some fertilizer, and watch it grow. All of them will germinate. I've been down this road too many times, but at least one of them will. So always do that. Don't throw all your produce stuff away. Banana peels, keep all those and eat bananas. That is the number one fertilizer I use. I make banana water. What is banana water? I take my bucket of water, I put all my banana leaves in it, and I let them sit, literally cook and stew. And that's what I give to my plants. It's fertilizer. It's easy. It's the whole banana. That peel, all of it.
We have a big bucket of compost that we eat.
I like it nice and lovely and sticky because now it's broken down and I give it to the plants. Yeah, it doesn't smell good.
What do you keep it?
Yes.
What do you keep it in? You put it in.
I put it, so I have lots of containers. I hold on to my containers. So like for protein powder, I keep those containers. I don't get rid of them. They have a nice tight lid and you don't smell that in your kitchen. So just drop them in there, fill it with water, and turn that lid. I do not open it again until it's going outside. Because it does smell. It's not pleasing. So I use that. I use also water bottles. The big, nice water bottles. The nice water bottles. I'll cut the top a little bit, put everything I need to put in there, close it back, and tape it. Or just cover it with something so you don't have that smell in your house. Or you can just sit it out on your patio until it's ready, and then you give it to your plants. Easy fertilizer. Now, I do use fertilizer sometimes on my plants. The two main things I use is blood meal and bone meal.
Yeah.
Okay, because they gives your plants your nitrogen, it gives it calcium. Those things are good to feed your plants. We live in Florida, and our soil, unfortunately, it doesn't have it. So you need to use everything you can possibly use to make it as fertile. So compost, all this good stuff, and bone meal, blood meal, and banana water. So your plants will get potassium. We had a question.
When you throw these things, the animals don't come?
We had a bunny. That's about it.
I saw that thing.
Well, I
Yeah.
have a good story and a bad story. So it does draw animals, but the only animal I've had in my garden is a bunny, and I just lost my bunny. I was
Some
thinking I
ate it.
wanted one, so I kind of treat it as a little pet. They're already there. So the thing with our unique area is because we live in Riverview, we have a lot of wildlife, but we have to live here together, and we can't go killing these animals, okay, y'all? So the best way to deal with them is to try to get things to deter them, or if you're gonna have them, just keep them away from your garden. What I mean by that, so before my bunny died, she was nibbling on my corn, she ate my onions, my tomatoes. So with her, what I did for her, she made a little house. She was literally under my grow bed, y'all. She had a nest, so she lived here. So what I did for her, I read up on it first because they like certain things. You don't want to give them anything that's going to cause them harm. So what I did is like strawberry tops. Bunnies are everywhere out here. So I took the bunny tops and I would throw it along the fence, away from my garden. So you're feeding her, giving her a food source, but you're also keeping her away from your plants, and you're still teaching her how to forage for herself or himself without you being a dependent food source for them. So you can use that method. I also have a monitor, but it bothers me, so I don't turn it on as often. I forget the name of it, but you put it in the ground. It's ran by solar. You just turn it on, and it's like a dog whistle.
Oh yeah. Yes, it's very annoying.
That, but it bothers me, so I just don't turn it on. And I did that with the first bunny I had. So my only issue, and I live right good by some water. The only issue I've had are bunnies, as far as animals. Now, pests. I know everybody's talking about pets. Aphids are not your friend. Worms are not your friend. Squash bugs are not your friend. So the three main your pollinators need to pollinate your plants. You don't want to poison them. So spray at night. I use soapy water, castor soap, or a little bit of dish soap and peppermint oil. I do not put pesticides on my plants at all. At all. Or I don't spray at all. I do a lot of hand picking. I know it's nasty, y'all. We don't like worms, but just don't squish them on your plants. Just put on your garden gloves and just take them off. You want to try to be as organic as possible, because you got to remember, a lot of these pesticides, they're not good for us either. And you don't want to put that on your food, okay? Now, anybody have flowers? Just like roses, hibiscus. Okay, aphids. Baking soda and water. Spray it in the evening, because you got to remember, the bees come for that. Don't do it in the daytime. A lot of this stuff you spray, yes, it's okay for the plant, but you don't want the sun burning it up on your plant. Spray it in the evening. The morning dew will take care of it. By the morning time, you'll be fine. Cayenne pepper. Yes, sir. Sprinkle that in your garden. You can put that on your plants too. The aphids don't like it. If you really want to be savvy with it, and you just don't want them to come back, you can add that to that soapy water, put a little bit of cayenne pepper in there, and spray it at night. That's good for pest control. I'm going to open up for some questions real quick. Does anybody have any questions about pets or animals? Yes.
Those little white.
The white flies.
They've killed so many of my tomatoes.
How often do you check your garden?
Every day, but they just gather and then they lay eggs and go underneath and they just get out of control.
Okay, the remedies for that, because I have them too. Don't just spray on top. Get underneath that leaf and spray underneath. And it's a task, but this is what we have to do to preserve our food. If not, they'll eat it all, and they won't be eating nothing. So when you spray, don't just spray on top. Spray underneath, wherever that pest problem is. Spray underneath.
What do you usually spray?
When do I spray?
What do you use with those two colors?
Okay, same thing.
Same thing.
Soapy water. I use castor soap. Castor soap, or I'll use a little bit of dish soap, dish soap. Not too much. You don't want to change the color. You just want it in there. So what happens with these animals? Their shells are so soft that soap will get in there. It literally takes care of them. So they can't handle the soap part or the peppermint oil. But the spiders, y'all, leave the spiders alone. I know they aggravate them, but they kill the pests. They take care. That's a food source for them. So if you have spiders in the area, you may not need to spray it. It might look crazy, but just let them have that, because they'll take care of some of the pests for you. You don't have to spray it. Does anybody have any other questions?
I have a question about growing in my patio, just like a patio.
I use my patio. I'll tell you what I grow in first. I grow in ground. I grow in grow beds. I grow in pots. I grow in my garden, and I grow on my patio. So on my patio, right now I have 4 cabbages. I have all my seedlings that I just started for March. In my seedlings, I have lettuce. I have 3 types of lettuce. I have my watermelon already growing. Those are my seeds now. I have my corn seeds. I've already planted them. My corn is probably about this high now. What else do I have there? I have my thyme and I have bok choy growing on my patio right now. And I have rosemary, thyme on my patio. So, but all of my seedlings, let me show you. Does anybody buy seed cell trays? Like the little plastic stuff to start the seeds in? You don't have to do that. Just use your egg card.
Well, those ones are probably better because all our seedlings are in those and they all sprout so fast.
This is biodegradable, and I know a lot of times we have the seed cells, the plastic ones. When you have those, you have to take them out of there. Everybody doesn't have a gentle hand, and sometimes these plants don't like to be touched. So what I have done with this is when you're done, you can just pop out your corner and don't disturb your plant. Put that right in the ground, and this is gonna biodegrade the way your plant. Use your egg carton. So I tried to buy you're done today, somebody's gonna get a nice goodie bag to put in their compost. All that stuff can go in the compost. All this can go in the compost. You? Yes, ma'am. You're growing up.
State where all these things grow all year round. You don't have to worry about whether it's in season or plant something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we do live in a great climate where we can grow year round. The best thing I can tell you, the first thing is find out what zone you're in.
Oh man, wait till you do everything. Black tea. Yes, yes, sir. I love it. I use my favorite tea. You can watch for YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, this is good. Really good stuff. Yeah.